Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, April 5th here. Here's a look at your watch list. Just a little FYI, I will have the room open today, but we are having some pretty bad storms down here. So if I lose power, I'll do my best to get it back up as quickly as possible. But just wanted to let you know, just in case. All right, so taking a look here, you can see I have this is the NASDAQ futures yesterday. NASDAQ really led the way. And so looking here, look at that big candle. We closed just above the 200. We're sitting just a little below that right now. But we'll see. Yesterday's volume was a little bit lighter. I mean, it was okay for the NASDAQ. But when you come in here and take a look at this, SPY, it's, kind of dwindled as we made that move up. And typically, that's not what we want to see. We want to see building volume on candles up and then lower volume on sideways and pullbacks. So for right now, I'm kind of in a wait and see. There are some pretty good setups. And the other thing that we noticed yesterday was the tick charts. I talked about it several times, that although the VIX was melting and melting and melting, we didn't see those big tick readings for the most part. And so that's something to pay attention to. If you're not seeing a lot of tick readings, that means you're not seeing a lot of buying nor selling, right? So when it's in that more neutral spot, you have to kind of pay attention there and say, okay, so which sectors are moving, and of those sectors, which names in those sectors. It may not be just a broad-based rally, and that's what we saw yesterday was a lack of a broad-based rally. So we'll pay attention to those names. We, of course, are watching Twitter, although it did get a downgrade today. Watching Twitter and Tesla, Elon Musk's 9.5 or 9.2% stake into Twitter, giving him controlling shares. Some other Facebook was on a nice move yesterday. Semiconductors. So we'll go take a look at all those. But real quick, here is the futures. Like I said, we're off the highs of this futures, and this is where we have to also pay attention to the news. We see that there may not be a meeting between Zelensky and Putin, and those a potential truce there, I think, is going to be incredibly difficult, given that they are so far apart in what each side wants. And well, I guess to me, I feel that is rightfully so, because Ukraine is its own country, and there was no reason for Russia to roll in, basically. So anyway, okay, politics aside, this is what it's looking like there on the SPY futures. Bitcoin here is still in a nice little range. We like this. We talked about this yesterday. We had a nice little push up. We closed on the downside of our candle, but still a green candle. Look at this. We're coming in today. So just a nice little move here. We're going to look for a break. I like it above the 48,350 region. So we'll take a look at Bitcoin plays. Like several plays like Mara and things like that have been moving very well. So great potential in there for especially for day trades. And then gold continuing to consolidate. Oil, right? It's moving up just a little bit again. And again, a lot of this is driven on the international pressure, right, with Russia and Ukraine. Okay, but let's take a look at some names. Want to go over yesterday. Apple, wow, what an incredible day. This is not set up as a trade. I think this might go ahead. Again, feeling is not a good way to trade. You shouldn't trade on your feelings. What this chart is indicating is that there is a lot of buyers still in here. And as soon as it dipped, buyers stepped right back in, maybe running it up to that 3 trillion here, which is now at 183.83. It used to be 182.86, but now it's 183.83. So we'll keep an eye on that, and a break of that previous high of 182.94. That's a previous all-time high. They have earnings also coming up at the end of the month. So, there's maybe a lot kind of baked in there that we have to watch, but great for day trading. At these levels, I think I would be a little hard pressed to hold overnight a full position. So maybe smaller position size on that, but love the look of Apple on an opening range break or a break of yesterday's high. We saw the chip names moving pretty well. NVIDIA It was a little bit more quiet, but nice volume in there. AMD I like the candle. It's an inside candle, so we're looking for a break of yesterday's high in AMD. Qualcomm, the strongest of these, and closing above the 8. So maybe a little pullback to the 8, maybe even the 20, and a push up to see if we can get it up there to the 200. But that brings me to our watch list, because with the chips finally catching some steam, looking at SMH. Yesterday we put in a very bullish inside candle with decent volume. We are right at a resistance point where we topped out yesterday, so we're looking for a break of that candle. And I like the 520-270 calls. So these will be in the money by the time I would get in at 270.25. My stop will be at 265.23. I like that you used that 50 and held the 50, pushed up right up into that, like I said, some previous resistance. And we are looking at that inside candle, so looking for a push up off of that. My initial target, pretty conservative at 271.77, and then heading on up to 274.89 there on SMH. All right, Cleveland Cliffs. This thing just continues to consolidate and accumulate some buyers up here. I mean, some pretty decent action. Lots of tails, lots of wicks. Yesterday we tapped the 8 again, pushed up. Like how this is setting up. I like it above yesterday's high, and it really needs to hold in that area. So for Cleveland Cliffs, I'm looking at the May 20th 32 call at 32.61. Stop at 31.75. So when I put a stop in, that typically means a close. So if it looks to close below there, or when it takes a move below there, really take a look and see if there's something else going on in the market pulling it down. And I'm targeting that 33.34 and a breakout play in Cleveland Cliffs. Now, be cautious. This one does get a lot of talk on CNBC, so it'll get pops when that does happen. So keep an eye on that. You might get a nice pop, and then what happens typically, it does tend to kind of pull back after that. So if they talk about it. Okay, eBay. Well, I know. Why am I looking at this chart? Well, here, I'm going to show you why. We have a nice little bull flag here, potentially a larger bull flag, but what I like is that we caught the 50 here. And now what I would like to see is a push down through the 50 and then catch it on the way back up. But I'm using that 50 as a reversal area. If it doesn't make that, that's okay. I'm going to use an entry of an opening range break if it's above the 50 period moving average, and stop if it's a close below the 50 moving average. All right, looking at the targets of 58.33 and 60.34, and of course those will be adjusted depending on where we end up getting in, but looking for a break of the candles here and then up here. So those are the areas I am looking at. All right, lots there on the bullish side. Of course, Tesla, Apple, Twitter, Facebook, PayPal, and Square have been taking a nice little move. AMD, NVIDIA, Qualcomm. And the housing sector has really cooled off and having some troubles. So we're looking at the bearish side in maybe Pulte Homes, PHM, Lennar, LEN, Horton Homes, DHI, and Toll Brothers. All right. If you have any questions, please reach out. Heather C. at GivingTreeTrading.com.